Sandy.
Okay.
It's been a while.
Ooh, it's old footage.
1990s.
生命是否是天黑等到天亮？誰擁有同樣的生命，值得我分享？各位朋友，你哋好嗎？
I've used the term sforzando before, right?
Yeah?
I don't know. This is just so 90s of technique. Like loud, come really quiet, grow back loud again. Like playing with dynamic that much, we just don't. If you do that today, it sounds very dated.
Okay.
如從今天起沒名字，
Cantonese.
不如隨着情緒
Sorry. Sorry. Always.
And always
都
is
傻事，沒勇氣再知道有什麼等待我，不如從此不想任何事。
You know, it's funny. Even though, I mean, we've talked so extensively about editing and live singing, and obviously that's a topic that we're all very passionate about and interested in. It's not subpar. It's just live in a lot of ways. But even I am like, because we're just so overexposed to editing.
Yeah.
不如隨便推搪沒緣分，不如忘掉時間或年份。
That is an intense bunch of flowers to hand an artist.
yeah.
愛着的不是我，不如隨便走一夜情人。其實我已厭了問，何日讓夢變真？是我錯了，錯在一等再。
I've loved her in the past.
I think you've liked her.
Yeah, you liked her.
Yeah.
Okay.
But this is an old recording.
Yeah, you liked her more.
Is she
recent
usually
ones.
Cantonese?
Last time, did she sing a
She
Mandarin
sings Mandarin
song?
too, because she
yeah,
was
yeah,
on
yeah.
singer.
Yeah,
Yeah.
she was singing
Right?
Mandarin.
Okay, yeah, I'm like,
This is more Cantonese, yeah, so
Okay.
that's why.
I guess it's good. It's sometimes hard when you show me stuff that's like, this is 35 years old. Sometimes this
1993.
is okay, 30 years old, 31 years old.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's hard because not only am I contending with this is a different language, this is a different style,
Different era.
but then I'm also just most of us when we see music that's 30 years old, even if it's our own language
Yeah.
and culture, it's like, ooh, that's a little dated. Ooh, ooh.
Yeah.
So these ones are particularly challenging. But critically, when I put aside the things that I don't relate to, she is a great singer.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not surprised that I thought she was a great singer, but it's just very dated and it's very dated. I don't know.
Very dated.
But she's fine. She's fine. And when I'm listening to her voice and isolating in my mind what her voice is, it's highly functioning. But I'm not like, I don't know how much I'm enjoying this. But
Okay.
is this a well-known song?
It's her opening track for this house.
Okay.
First song.
You're not gonna hear Billie Eilish do that. But that's not about West and East.
That
That's
could be Cantonese though.
No, you've brought
no,
up
that's era.
and what you brought up are what they judge singers as being prolific back in like 90s canto pop. So
Oh.
you just nailed it. Yeah.
The thing?
Is
That
the-
thing, the
okay.
crescendo and all that stuff, like being able to the dynamics and the vibrato.
Well,
I think it
nailing
has
it.
something to
They
do with
think
the
it's
language.
control. You know, remember back in the 90s, they like to fade out their voices when they hold a long
Yes,
note and they
yes,
pull the microphone.
yes,
So singers
yes.
who are able to fade out their voices without pulling the microphone are.
Do you know that as a
Considered
fact?
as very
Just
hailed
wait, just
as
wait.
being prolific.
Do you know that, or are you making that up?
No,
Like,
because I watched these shows when I was little, and then the MCs will like talk to each other.
that is so
And
interesting.
then, but the MCs kind of like try to educate the audiences. Like
Totally.
this is
Okay.
like this person is prolific. They are able to do this. Like breathing was a huge
Yes.
thing too. Don't
Yeah.
breathe. Like
Yeah, that's
no
what
one
you
should
said.
be
You
able to
shouldn't
hear
hear
you
it.
breathe.
You shouldn't
no
hear
one
it.
should be able to hear it.
So a lot of those tropes, a lot of that stuff has kind of gone away for a few reasons. One, classical singing and classical training used to be the gold standard for as far as singers go.
Yeah, yeah.
I put out a piece of content probably 2 or 3 years ago where I was like, it was bizarrely controversial. I knew it would kind of ruffle some feathers, but I didn't think it would blow up like it did. I basically said in a 40-second clip, if you want to sing pop music, you need to study pop music, and if you want to study with a coach, study with a pop coach. If you want to learn and sing and perform classical music, you should study classical music and study with a classical coach. And people, generations that aren't young, were like, no, classical music is the foundation of everything. It doesn't matter if you want to sing pop music or rap music or any music, you need to study classical music as a foundation. And I actually pushed back on that quite a bit. And one of the things I had said in the video was, that's like going to an oboe teacher because you want to play saxophone. It's two completely different tools. So anyway, not to get off topic, but we are on topic because that makes perfect sense to me that would be viewed as prolific, because in fact, it does take skill. It does take skill, but people's taste has turned, and part of that is technology. Part of that is just simply the zeitgeist, just the basic taste people have kind of evolves as time goes. But technology makes, we don't need a singer to be as prolific today in a lot of ways. So a lot of those things that singers used to do, they start to sound dated because today's generation is like, why are you doing that? Why people don't do that? So this is very fascinating to me, this particular topic of things that used to be considered prolific and are today considered dated or not useful or not pretty or...
Yeah.
But I think it's the language too. Today people don't write songs this way. Like they want to end shorter, right? Or at least they don't drag on.
But that's not the
so
language,
long.
Jay.
It does. There is, because you know why? You cannot go straight to that note with that word.
Fine. Language is a factor, but today in modern Western pop music, you don't want to hang on to your vibrato. You don't want to hang on to the end of the notes. I'm constantly telling people my age and in the last decade, don't hold on to that so long. Don't hold on to that so long. Don't bend the pitch so much. Don't hold that note forever. I call the producer I've worked with in the past, we together call it singery. Don't be so singery, because today it's not about bending and holding and stretching. Think about it. And people back then, so long, amazing. And we still have some of that today, but think of a modern song that has a singer holding a note out forever and ever and ever. It's gone. We don't do that really anymore. The last kind of batch of artists who did shit like that are your Demi Lovato, your Lady Gaga, whatever. But you look at Beyonce. Beyonce is one of the most prolific singers of our generation. What does she do now? She raps. So everything that used to be bold and vocal and long, so I'm hearing you that there's a piece of this is around language, but this is also about how time moves and how trends change and how vocalists, there's different things required of us today because of technology, but also technology impacts people's taste. And also when we see, we know this, when you see your parents loving something, do you love it? No, you don't. You're like, oh, that's what old people like. I like this new breathy thing where they just, there's no vibrato, right?
Whisper into the song.
Yeah, exactly. So
Yeah.
our views change of what we think cool is, of what we think talent is, of what we think prolific is. Today, people think Billie Eilish is a prolific singer, and she is, but why? Does she hold long notes?
No.
Does she do, play with the dynamic? What makes Billie Eilish prolific? Because she doesn't do these things. So our definition of what prolific changes. So this is really interesting to me.
But someone modern, let's say if Jay Fun tries to sing this song, will he do that differently?
I don't
Yes, he
know.
will.
But I want to.
No,
Okay.
I
Yes, he
wait.
will.
I want to bring your attention to remember the Eason song with Terrence Lamb playing the piano.
Yeah.
Cooking on. Both of you reviewed it. You might not remember it, which is fair.
I
It's been a
remember,
while ago.
Yeah.
But Terrence specifically told Eason, "I need you to have short phrase endings. I need you to lessen your vibrato because you need to sound more current."
Modern, yeah.
Or modern.
Wow.
Yes. You'd go, fun hun. Not fun hun.
I think,
Yes.
she's
Just make it
pointing-
quicker. Make the scoop quicker, right?
Well, you and I can't
But
stop
you can
fighting
keep-
about what a scoop
No,
is.
but you can keep the same volume. You don't have to go
Yes,
soft
it's dynamic.
and really-
It's about
it's
dynamic.
yeah.
Scoop is about pitch deviation. Dynamic is that coming quiet
I
and
know,
building
but
back
there is a
loud.
scoop here, right? Or
There
is
is.
there a slide here?
A pitch bend versus a scoop. That's what we
It's
tend to
either-
fight about.
In Cantonese, I think we perceive it more as a pitch bend. Hen is a continuous hen. Even if we speak it, right? It's hen.
Yeah, I'm not.
It's not two notes. It's not hen. It's not hen. It's hen. So when you sing it, it's the same, right? Hen.
I've heard it done two different ways. I've heard it done a continuous
But
or.
You can't just jump straight to that note. Hen doesn't work,
But you can
right?
go hun, hun. Those are still two distinct notes.
That's
Or
a
you can go-
scoop.
That's a
or you
scoop.
can go fun.
Yeah, you just did a
You can do it that way too.
When you do it
But-
fast.
So, we've got three
It's-
different
it's
things
a
going
scoop
on
when
right
you
now.
do it fast.
We've got three things. We have a scoop, traditionally the way I use that term, and all pop coaches, the way I know use that term, which is an additional note at the beginning of, it's an unnecessary, right? The melody doesn't require it. It's a note that comes before the main note.
Yeah.
Then we have a pitch bend, which is starting at one note and bending up to another one or bending down to another one.
Yes.
Then, thirdly, which is what I'm talking about here, is dynamic and or volume, being quiet and coming to loud on the same note. Now, you could also go from quiet to loud and add a pitch bend in, but the loud to quiet is what I'm mostly talking
Yes.
about. And if you want to talk about adding a pitch bend in, well, now you're in Christina Aguilera land, which is, 1995, 2000, where we had, where we've got dynamic and pitch bend.
Yeah.
But in general, all of these techniques turn and turn and turn. Look what people are wearing. It's back to school right now. I see kids in belly shirts and everything we wore in grade 9, grade 9 kids are wearing today. I'm like, holy shit. So I imagine some of these trends will turn around eventually. But yeah, so this video is interesting because it's Cantonese.
Yeah.
So it's got language stuff that makes it have certain requirements or feels, but it's also 31 years old. So it has trends and vocal techniques that
That was popular back then.
were popular back then. West Andes
Yes.
in general.
Okay.
Yeah.